Good grief.
Yeah, I didn't he didn't come back and see me.
Nigga, back with 2 coins.
Yeah. I think they didn't come back and see me. I was like, damn. I didn't know he was gonna see me. I was like, hey, bro, you gotta go. You can't make it enough.
You're stupid.
Uncouth Radio, man. We are here. We are on the air. We got Jackie Chandler in the house, Q the Rebel, the Hulkster. And then we got our special guest, Miranda. Is it Bowden or Bowden on?
Bowden, please.
Miranda Bowden, the Arthur.
Who's the Hulkster? Why is he the Hulkster?
Sam, hold me there, brother.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Sam Hogan. Damn Daniel over there stuffing his face. They don't put the camera on him while he eating. We got my man Julius here. You know what I'm saying? It's popping today. Julius came through, taking pictures. He from the group, man. Look, but for real, seriously though, we got the author of the book, Caitlin, in the house. We gonna talk to her real quick. Getting her side of her head a little bit. Give it up for the Arthur. I hate when niggas say Arthur. Give it up for the author of the book, Caitlin.
The Arthur. You said the writer. She wrote Caitlin.
She the writer of Caitlin.
I wrote it.
All right, so
You sure it on your page?
Oh, I want to.
yeah, it's on. So it's on.
Okay. Are we all tagged?
You should be. I tagged everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
you know, we got a whole lot going on. We got Crystal Clear is coming in. Crystal Clear will be in the house today. But we gonna start with Miranda, which gets her technological life together.
I don't know how to do this.
Jesus Christ. Give me
What
a
is she
phone.
doing?
She can write a book.
I can write it, but I don't know how to go live.
I feel like that old lady.
You're not going live.
That old lady.
I hate that live shit. No, you are live. I'll be live. But if I gotta hit the live button,
No, you're not going live. No, you're not going live.
I hate everybody on this panel.
You should.
Everybody.
You should. All right, now it's on your time. Why?
All right.
Deeper code?
Deeper code.
Hooper code? Mr. Hammond in the house.
No weapon.
Oh, Jesus.
How do y'all do anything serious? How are you?
All right, now that we all here, we got everything popping and cracking.
Yes.
So tell us, the book, Caitlin, put it up so the people can see it.
All right. This is my book, Caitlin. And it came out in 2014. And it's been out. It's been doing well. I love it. And everybody else does. At least that's when I'm pumping.
It's such a small world because I actually DJ'd the book signing event that you had. It's like such a crazy small world. Dope House, like 6 degrees of separation. But I'm glad it's doing well. From the people that I heard that read it, they said they liked it.
Yes.
I'm sure my wife is going to get it because she is a book fanatic.
She did. She ordered it already.
Okay, so good. That's what's up. So, tell us, whatever, with no spoilers, give us what you want to give us about the book. It's hard,
I can't really
it's hard to talk about.
The book is about a girl who wakes up one day and realizes her whole life is a lie.
Oh, so like all of nothing.
Everything.
Instagram.
All my exes.
All of it.
This book is about every Instagram model.
All of them.
The Kardashian.
It is.
Okay, so without giving nothing away,
That's
it's a book.
it. That's it. That's all
So
I
go
can give you.
okay, cool. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
What inspired you first to be an author? Like what gave you, because you know, like I know a lot of people say they writers, people want to be blog writers, but to like actually go in and actually write a book, have a hard copy, you know what I mean? Like I know a lot goes into that. So what actually inspired you to go the full throttle and be a writer?
You know what? It was just sitting at my desk one day and I was like, I'm a short story writer. So I can write short stories all day long. I help people ghostwrite their own books, that kind of stuff. But then I was sitting at my desk one day, I started a new job and I was like, man, and I'm about to do my book. And I just started writing. I didn't go home till like 10 o'clock some nights and I have a daughter. So I was like, oh no, I have to work late. Calling her dad like, get her so I could write this book. I think I wrote like 100 pages in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then it sat there for a long time. I threw it away, threw it
Like the whole book?
The whole book. I called some people that I know that are avid readers. I sent it to them. I opened it up for their critique, which is hard for me to do because
that's the hardest shit ever.
if you're an artist, you're like, no, my shit's good. And then I got back all these pages. It's like, just take out this whole chapter. It's stupid. And I'm like, dang, you're.
Did you end up taking it out?
I did.
Yeah.
I had to read it like 12 times. Like, oh, maybe I'll just save it. And so it was a really good friend of mine named Sinue. She called me. She was one of my beta readers, and she called me like right around the end of December in 2013, and she was like, so are we ever gonna see what happened to the girl in the book? And I was like, shit, okay, I guess I'll write it. And so from January to March, I wrote it, then it went to editing and all of that, and then I like had to have a couple of my sisters kick my ass to actually push the button to post it on.
Well, because I know it's kind of heartbreaking, and I know it's like I try to explain to people as an artist, even when you think something is done, it's never done to you.
It's never done.
Like you always feel like you could have improved on it. I'm sure now, even with this book done and out, you're like, I should have added this.
Yes.
I could have had that. So I understand like how hard it is to do that part, because it's like letting your baby out into the world to be ridiculed or praised or whichever. And I know that's a hard, difficult thing, but I do commend you for actually doing it, because I know so many people who say, I want to be a writer or I want to start a blog, and they don't actually go through with it and do it. But
it's hard. I think the hardest part, the night that you and I met, it was a friends of mine that threw the surprise party for me, for my book or whatever. It was the first night that I got my worst review.
Oh, wow.
And I was like an emotional wreck. I was calling my sister, oh, take this shit down, fuck it. I shouldn't have wrote this book.
And did that, so I'm going to ask you this, because you said you got your worst review, but I'm sure you had got plenty of good reviews.
I did, but it didn't matter.
That one review
crushed
all of that shit.
I was like,
why is that?
Because it was like, it was, okay, we all know, we all read the comments of anything that you read online, and you're like, why the F do you even have to say this shit?
Yeah.
Just don't even type it.
Right.
But this person just went ham. Like, you should have said this, and it was boring. I couldn't even get past page 3, but when I finished it, well, bitch, if you got past page 3, you shouldn't have commented. So it was really, really heart-wrenching. And so it was a couple of my friends that reached out to me, and they were like, well, but look at this review, and read that one, and read this one. So it has been kind of what has kept me from putting out or going full force with my second book.
Really?
And it's been like, do I really want to go through that again? And
yes, because we are artists and we touch ourselves. That's what we do.
So I have. Now I'm back in. I've jumped in full force into my second book. And so, I tell anybody. I started a writers group right after it. We call it Writers Group LA. And quite a few people, I think we're up to like 10 to 12 people, and they're all writing either books or blogs or scripts. And it was all people that just said the same thing, like, I've always wanted to. Well, then let's do it. And they have some great ideas. People have really fucked up imaginations, and they need to share it with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, that is great. Any questions from anybody else?
I don't have a question, I have a statement.
Yes.
As an artist, your biggest weapon in your toolbox is the ability to say fuck people.
Yes.
You have to do that and just keep doing what you do, because no matter what you do, you're going to have some people that's just going to say dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I think somebody mentioned it,
Who gives a shit?
No, that's not what they said.
I'm saying, no, not about what they
No, I know.
Somebody did mention fuck this.
No, but to piggyback on what you said, that, every book isn't for everybody. So every book isn't for everybody. Every piece of
song
music,
isn't for-
every movie isn't for everybody. So
you do what you do, and then the audience is going to find you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it took me going on like some of my favorite authors' websites and seeing their bad reviews. I was like, yes, if he got a bad one, then I know I can get a bad one and be all right. So it was a great process. It was a learning process. I learned about myself, and I'm a big procrastinator. So it wasn't until somebody actually held my feet to the fire that I finished it, and I'm proud of myself.
Well, I'm proud of you for doing it, and thank you for coming. And also, we have a question from the audience.
Uh-oh.
Somebody said, Miranda's hella light skinned. We need to ask her a question.
Oh,
You already know where this is from, right?
I'm gonna ask you a black question.
Where did Trey get pulled over in Boys in the Hood when he started swinging? He said, if you don't answer this question, you're getting traded from the black. You're gonna lose your black card.
No
You're getting
pressure
traded.
at
No
all.
pressure.
no pressure at all.
Where did Trey what?
Where did Trey get pulled over in Boys in the Hood when he started swinging at the air?
Oh, at the movie theater?
Oh.
Are you talking about Crenshaw when they were in the butt? When they took off, right?
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
started
yeah.
shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
And tell Aunt, fuck him.
She knew it was Anna.
that was actually in front of Anna.
That El Superman, Telemundo Superman
Yeah.
said that question.
Superman, which was perfect.
I have a question. I've been talking to Chandra lately because I think I'm going to start writing a book on my career as a police officer.
You should.
So, what advice? Because it's been kind of. I'm trying to figure out how to tell my story and still make it interesting.
The biggest advice that I give people, so I'm working with somebody that used to be a stripper, and she stripped all over the world. So, but she wants to be very careful as the way she tells the story. But people find the details, the raw details of your life the most interesting because they can either relate to it or their lives are so boring that they need to connect to it. So I tell people when they start to write. Tell the truth as if you're writing it in your journal. And then go one level deeper. And I learned that from my writing coach, Jack Graves. And he would always, like, if I wrote something and, you know, it'd be all nice and fluffy, and then he's like, okay, so what about that? So then why didn't you do that? So then why didn't you do that? So he's asking you all these questions to take you deeper and deeper, deeper. So let's say they discriminated. You want to write in there, they discriminated against me and it was not
No, I'm telling everything.
No. But
Like,
then
some niggas going to jail over this.
then it's gonna need to get real deep. The worst book I've ever read, but the best book, Rick James' book. And that's because in every part of the book, he's calling somebody a bitch.
Right.
He's calling somebody fuck you.
Hold on, Rick James got a book?
Rick James, you don't know that?
Oh, hey, come get me some for Christmas. Give me Rick James book.
Girl, they got the movie.
Whenever it is Rick James' book, like that's right.
Rick Jack.
He's talking about dodging the draft. He moved to Canada. He's fucking white women. He's doing coke on the back. You know,
This
somebody's
just sounds
ass.
good as hell.
But the thing,
I didn't do no coke though, yeah.
Is it Memoirs of a Super Freak?
yes.
Okay.
That's the best title ever.
Yeah.
For Rick, it's so Rick James.
And when you read the book, you're gonna actually
hear it in Rick's voice?
You're talking to him because it doesn't make.
Hey, hold up.
It's not written.
Is there audio? Because I
No,
would love.
Wait,
The audio.
you know,
This
it
one
might
time,
be,
it's
it might
cracking
not be
bitch.
him. Like it might
No, he got it. Because did Bobby Brown
Bobby
read it?
Brown, yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
Bobby Brown read his, and
It was
that's
bad.
terrible.
Wait, that was after the stroke though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who stroke? Rick James?
No, Bobby. So he did an audiobook after that?
Yeah, it's his new book.
New book.
It's his new book.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Yeah,
But I would love to
He
hear
should
Rick
have
James.
done that.
But so,
They need to have Morgan Freeman
So write it.
narrate.
Yeah.
Write it,
Yeah.
write it as if you're talking to Chan.
Alright.
Because then it's going to get personal, it's going to get deep, and then you could go back and when you edit, you can go, okay, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe that, I mean, why do people love Superhead book? Because of how deep it is. And why do people love Mrs. Jones' book?
That's how I
Because
love
she's telling
Superhead.
Nas's business.
You know what?
It's because people want to be in
With
the
the
business.
So you sound like you gotta
Was it?
dig deep below. And I tell people this. I said this is why I feel like people before we lost into the Kardashians. This is why I feel like people fucked with Kanye so tough when he was one of the first hip hop artists who gave you 100% of who he was, the vulnerable parts,
Yes.
the fucked up parts, the insecure parts. Like, 'cause you know, hip hop was like based in vibrato and all that back then. But he came like, no, I'm insecure, and everybody's like, oh, this is different. So I think that's why they fucked him because he went all the way there and gave you all of him. If you listen to a Kanye album, you're gonna get the asshole Kanye, you're gonna get the insecure, you're gonna get the fake secure guy.
What she said, like either you could relate to it or you could kind of draw something from an experience.
Well,
that-
Miranda,
exactly.
you definitely gonna be on my list of people I'm sending it to.
Yeah, you should come to our writers group. We're having one on, restart on January 17th.
Dopeness.
Yeah.
Dopeness.
Hey, I got you, Quincy.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I can write your book right now.
No.
Chapter 1. Fuck pigs. And then the end.
That's the whole book.
That's it.
But we need the details.
She
The
said
details is fuck them. That's chapter 1.
What's chapter 2?
Fucking with a sick dick.
There's kids, really.
And start with a story. I mean, I always say something's gonna need to trigger you.
Well, no. The thing I was gonna start with is
Thank you for that.
me as an African American growing up in Watts, why I wanted to be a cop.
So
Why I wanted to become a cop in the first place.
Okay.
And that all started when I saw my mom. I was probably around 8, and my mom was abused by police officers in front of her. And she was like drugged down the stairs, gun at her head. You know, cops told her, you know, that they were gonna blow her fucking brains out. I saw all this at age 8.
And that made you want to be a cop?
Yeah, because what happened was, you know, a lot of things I didn't understand. So once I got around 16, I was like, man, you know, why you never sue those cops or blah blah blah. You know, and you know, she was like, cuz, you know, they told me like they would come after you if I was to sue.
Wow.
And you know, her thing was, she's like, you know what though, you know, don't bitch about it. You know, go change it. And I took that as, you know what?
That was your child.
You know,
You know, that's like a fucking Batman origin story. That's
Yeah.
like a superhero
yeah,
origin story.
yes.
You know,
Like if
no
you don't
bullshit.
want to do better, yeah.
like you know, her thing was, you know, black people always bitch about things, but we don't go, you know, go be that cop and save the next little boy from seeing that.
Right.
And that's why, and you know, now I'm gonna get a little bit more details and stuff what I would write about. I would write about those type of scenarios.
Right.
That when I went to calls and I saw kids, that automatically, every time I dealt with people and their kids as a police officer, that day triggered back.
Right.
So you saw I became very cautious of when I was around kids. And I would let people know, look, calm down. I don't want to do nothing in front of your child. And they saw that like, oh, okay. Like, you need to think, because I'm thinking about your kid, I need you to think about the same thing. But that was me seeing myself in these kids when I went to these calls and we went in there with you know, there was an incident where somebody had robbed someone, they didn't tell us, and these fools ran and jumped in the church van, and I opened up the church van and my gun was pointing at a 5-year-old chest. And it messed me up.
Yeah.
Bad. And I went over there and I sat next to him on the curb and I hugged him and I told him I was sorry. I'm like crying.
Because he's going to remember that.
Like me, a cop, crying. I mean, it was just because I felt like I gave him that experience that I never wanted to give a kid.
Right.
I hope he don't remember it, but at least if somebody did, the people who were around him were like, yeah, that cop was like really like messed up over that, you know, blah blah blah. But so those are the type of things, and then I would want to get into, you know, the training day type shit.
This nigga just sold the book on the radio.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, write this shit.
But that's
That's
like prologue.
Yeah.
I'm giving this book.
So I was like the last 2 days, I swear, I've been like Chandler. I've been having the urge. I need to write this book.
You should write it. And I tell people, it's no, you don't. There's no rush. There is no rush. There is no timing behind it. It took me 2.5 years to write Caitlin, and that's because it was like, okay, this isn't my life anymore. I don't need to do it. I got a job. Everything's paid for, but I wanted to do it, and I wanted to.
It was a real passion project.
It was a passion.
Well, let me ask you, is there a specific reason you named the book Caitlin?
No. That's just the name of the girl, and literally names just come to me. And that's when I do like my 30 stories a year. I write short stories, and I tell people like, give me your name if you want to. Give me your name. It's literally the first story that comes to me when I write down their name.
Oh, okay.
So
that's crazy. Like, cause for me, like if I'm writing like a story or like a script or something, a lot of times I like to use the name of the people I know, kind of as a tribute to them.
You know, somebody did that, and she wrote a book, and she was like, "Is it okay if I use your name?"
Fucked up shit.
Right.
And then, okay, so she was like, "Is it okay if I use your name? You're gonna be a police officer." I was like, "Cool." I read the book. Now I'm talking about how the book was. Chandler died. Why? It was so pointless. Like I was such a bomb. Like I was such a bomb police officer. There was no reason for me to get kidnapped and die. It was too much.
You got kidnapped and
murdered? They're not friends friends no more, right? I
No,
won't be
we're
her
not.
friend
No,
no more.
we're
Don't
not.
kill me off.
Can I put you in my book?
Yeah.
Then they kidnap the bitch and
Yeah.
kill him.
And then what made it even worse is you guys know now that they have Facebook memories, she put it on my wall, like, oh, can I use your name? And then it came up. I
You
was like,
remember I killed you off?
yeah.
It's back.
Yeah.
Oh
really.
man, that's crazy. But no,
I want
I think
my money
that's
back.
I think that's dope because you know it's interesting to me to see different people's processes
Yes.
and how they do things. So like I said, when I'm like, oh, I'm doing a car show with some girls, but I want to use some like a girl who reminds me of this personality.
Yeah.
Is the name I would try to. So when they see it, they're like, oh, that's kind of like, of course, not all based on you, but the name kind of helps me form the actual character.
It does.
You
It
know what I
does
mean?
because you think of certain names in certain ways.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, we
Well, that's why I
can't
asked
have it.
about why Caitlyn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, was there
It
but
literally
it's
came
just-
to me, and a lot of it was my sister was asking me like, well, is she white? Is she black? Is she this? Is she that? And I'm like,
You couldn't really
I don't
tell.
know. Yeah.
I don't even think
Yeah.
But that's a
right.
good, that's a good
That's
thing,
for the
right?
reader, right?
Exactly.
Right.
It's for the reader. And one of the things that I don't like Walter Mosley. I love him as a writer. He's a great writer, but I don't like reading his stories because he gives you every single detail. So there is nothing left to the imagination. I don't want to write like that. I want you to read my book and decide
your
what
own
this
pictures in
person
some
looks
places,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I hate like when you buy a book and somebody's face is on the front
Because
and
you
that's the
attach
picture.
that
Because now
to
I'm
it.
like, this bitch is lit.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you want, you know, speaking of how the characters are seen and looked at, would you
Right.
want Caitlyn to be turned into a film?
Yes.
I think,
Absolutely.
you know what?
And Bruce Jenner played.
I would actually like it turned into a series.
Oh,
Kate,
really?
I was
So-
gonna say,
Yes.
Kate, there's no way
Okay.
Caitlyn could be in a film.
No,
Not
it
one.
would
Not
go.
one.
It
Oh,
would
not
be,
one. So you think it, because you read the book.
Yes.
Okay, so you think it would be better as a series than a.
It would be better as like Netflix season 1 through 5.
Oh.
Like it's so much like.
There's
so
a lot going on
A
in
lot
the story.
Oh,
So I don't think
I might
it could
fuck
be a
around and
movie.
start reading.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was. I
Starting
don't,
with Rick James.
I'm reading Rick James' book
Yes.
first. Like that's
Him,
happening.
have you read Richard Pryor's book?
Yeah, I didn't read Richard Pryor's book. I read a book
His-
about him. I didn't read his autobiography.
So how I was saying that Quincy needs to start off with a story. He starts off with the story of him getting raped.
Whoa.
Dude.
And the thing is, you don't think of Richard Pryor in that way. You think
Right.
of him as this funny, talk shit,
Yeah.
you know. And then he tells you what made him start to become funny because
That was
he
his
grew
dad.
up in a
brothel.
Whorehouse, yeah.
brothel, whatever.
JoJo
we-
Dancer.
Do black people call shit brothels? But he grew up like that. And his grandma was always like, "Come out here and tell jokes." Well, people don't know that most comedians, or they should know, most comedians tend to tell jokes based off of what they experience in life. And he was raped in an alley
Damn.
by just some random ass dude. And that's the first story, the first opening to his book. And you're like, wait, you're Richard Pryor, you're not supposed to get your ass
Somebody gotta go.
But
Go
then,
Did you say
I don't like that summary.
get your
Somebody-
ass?
I mean, you had me
Somebody
in
got
that
that.
ass
Yeah,
taken.
I
I'm
don't like
like,
that
damn.
summary.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Think
get
about Eddie Murphy when Richard Pryor, I think it was, when he was like, through all the asses to get off the plane.
Yeah,
You like, wait.
because then it has a different meaning now. That's crazy.
It messed me up.
You didn't fuck me all up.
It does, and so that's why I read everything. There is nobody that's left aside. I read it all because you never know what's going to trigger your own imagination.
No, I think that's dope, and I do like reading people's autobiographies and stories
Yeah.
because it's interesting to see how, the different roadmaps that people took to end up being who they are.
Right.
And all of these, like you say, this piece attributed to this, especially especially comedians.
Yes.
It's very interesting to me with comedians because so many comedians, it comes from really a dark place.
Yes.
So much comedy that we think is really good comedy comes from such a dark place. Like,
Yes.
if you hang around a lot of comics, they mean as fuck. And they not really funny off stage. Like
They're
they,
not. It's
That's
just
what,
hard.
you know what, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Very few comedians that I'm like, you think you gonna be like, hey, you like, oh, fuck you, Steve Harvey.
You like, you need
Like-
therapy.
Yeah, like they not really funny off stage because they
Yes.
also like they like kind of bitter or they've been through the business in a long time, so they kind of got this chip that stays on their shoulder. So it's very interesting to see, how that all
And then the
goes about.
expectation is people expect for you to be funny.
All the time.
All the time. And so when I am writing, because I don't, obviously I don't write autobiographies, but I will read a lot of autobiographies, watch a lot of comedy, or comedian stand-ups on TV. And I will go and sit in Starbucks because the most important part of writing is developing the character. And even if it's your own, Richard Pryor can write about Richard Pryor and we know who he is on stage, but when you're telling a deeper story, you have to keep it light and fluffy. That's why that movie with Precious.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I did, people, it's such a horrible movie, but the way that they did it with the vignettes where, it took you so low and then all of a sudden she was dancing around in a boa with sparkles and stuff like that. It was like, okay, let's not have you commit suicide while watching this. You have to be able to develop
that's
the
the kind of movie
character.
you cannot watch twice.
No.
Oh, that movie was, I read the book.
that
made
and
me know. I
Yeah,
know.
but that is for a color girl.
Correction.
I was
I saw the chicken part again. I had to see that part again.
But like as a movie, I watched that movie. I was like, yo, like
I've
this-
never watched that movie.
I read the book and it was enough.
It was literally like
I read the book and I was
the
like,
worst. It was like her life starts bad,
and it ends bad.
and then it gets worse. Like how bad it starts, and it gets worse for 2 hours
There's no
until the
worse.
very end, and you like,
So-
what the fuck
And
is
it's still
happening?
bad. Nothing good happened.
For the people that read the book, I heard Lee Daniels kind of did a hatchet job with the movie.
I don't know because I didn't watch the movie.
He
I read
did.
the book.
He did it.
I hate Lee Daniels
Most-
anyway.
I
He's a
do
piece of
too.
shit. But go
Most
ahead.
people butcher books. That is just what they do. They butcher them when they come to the screen because you don't know how to get inside the author's mind of what they saw, so you can't really translate it. I mean, I had my heart broken a couple years ago when The Color Purple came out as a stage play. I went, but I was so geeked. That is my favorite movie in the whole world. My sister was like, we flying to New York, we going to see it on Broadway, it's gonna be the bomb. And I'm sitting in there and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I was like, she's gay. She's gay the whole time. And my sister's looking at me like, have you ever read the book? And I'm like, no, all she did was kiss in the damn movie. And she was like, no, Miranda, go home and read the book. When you get home and read the book, the whole premise of that movie, and of course I applaud E.T. Man. What is his
Steven
name?
Spielberg.
Steven
E.T.
Spielberg.
Man.
E.T.
I applaud him for getting the movie out and at least having that one part in it. But
It was
that is not the book that is not the movie I fell in love with. It absolutely was not. They lived
Well, you know
together
what?
in a time when people did not do that.
I've been able to see some of the Hollywood machine and how it works in regards to transferring a book over into a film. And it's very interesting the parts that the film people would think aren't interesting enough to make it into the movie.
Because they have to entertain us. They have to have. It always
Yes.
has to be something climactic, and not only that. The only time a book and a movie are comparable is if they write the book and they write the book, the movie, and then they make the book
off of them.
off of the movie.
Well, you know what?
Like
But J.K.
Gone Girl or
Rowling,
something
J.K.
like that.
Rowling was involved from jump for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And that's why Harry
Right.
Potter was
Yeah.
so in depth. That's why because they probably was like, we could do this in 3
But
movies.
she didn't
and she
have-
was like, hell no. We
Yeah.
gotta do this in 8 movies. You know what I'm
She
saying?
didn't have anything to lose when you think about it. She was a single mom. She wrote this and she was struggling to get anywhere. She was like, well, F it, if you don't want to do it my way, then don't do it my way. Look at 50 Shades of Grey. You all bought 3 books, if anybody bought it. She wrote that book as one book. It is the worst written book in the history.
I keep hearing that.
But you keep reading it because you want to know why this hoe keeps wearing the same bra and panties in every single sex scene. Because
Wait.
you, as a writer, you have to get into it. I worked for Paramount for 4 years, and when you think about the things that they piece out of it, you're like, oh my god. And then you see the movies that are like put up, for Oscars, and you're like, okay, that makes a lot of sense because there's so much creativity in it. Look at Black Snake Moan. It never went anywhere, but if you think about it, Samuel Jackson keeping a little white girl chained to a radio. I was like, dude, I'm all in to watch this.
Yeah.
Because it shows you the mind of real people. You have no idea who your neighbor is until you watch Criminal Minds and you're like, hey, dude be coming home late at night with
Right.
a lot of grocery bags and carrying out
Right.
heavy shit. It makes you, if people do translate books right, it should make you feel that way.
Okay, well let me ask you, because this is a game we play on Uncouth often.
Okay.
So it's good to have somebody actually here. We making your book into a movie.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Who's your dream director?
Lee Daniels.
No, that guy that did Creed.
E.T. Man?
Oh,
Good black dude.
yeah, what's his
Black
name?
Dude.
The young dude.
Yeah,
What's his name?
It's slipping my mind.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler.
Yes,
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler.
Yes.
Big Creed. So you want him to direct it? Who would you want to play Caitlin?
Caitlin Jen.
Be careful now.
Homegirl. The new
Hell
Princess
yeah.
Diana.
The new Princess Diana.
Kate
What's
Middleton.
her son that Marco girl, the Marco
Oh, the
girl.
one who married?
No, the one that's about to marry. Or, she's dating now. Brianna's trying to stay on
From
that.
the one that
The
everybody
Marco
says
girl.
that she's from Compton.
Yeah, she's from Suits.
I need you to get it.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
The Marco girl, her
I
last
thought you
name's
talking about,
Marco.
yeah. She plays Mike's girlfriend on Suits.
Yes.
Okay.
She's nondescript.
She's very nondescript, could be black, could be white,
Okay.
very
That's
ambiguous.
why I said
I
be
think-
careful.
Yeah,
I
she's
think Gabrielle
nondescript.
Union. I think you need to smile, smirk every time
Yes.
I
Gabrielle Union is Gabrielle Union in everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No matter
she
what.
has that little smirk, no matter if it's
I
serious.
would, yeah, no.
She gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And Kerry Washington mouth, I don't know what it is about
See,
her.
Caitlyn is young, though.
Okay.
Caitlyn's a young girl. She's only 17.
Oh.
It has to be somebody young. Even if they translate
What
it
if-
to be a little bit older, because it's young adult, she would have to be a younger looking girl.
So then what about Rue?
From Hunger Games.
Yeah, Rue from Hunger Games.
The little light skin.
she could play it.
Because she kind of nondescript in between.
But I like Zendaya, too.
Me too, yeah.
All right, that'll be my vote, 'cause that's the only person I
No,
know.
because she. Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. But she's,
Okay.
She's kind of soft. Caitlyn has.
But I think
She gets a hard edge throughout the book, though, because she does start off pretty naive, like, what the hell
Yeah.
is going on?
Yeah.
And I feel like Zendaya doesn't get enough roles. Her look looks like they keep trying to make her look
That's
more
what
What you
rough,
say,
but
Kiki?
she's
What you
not.
say,
Kiki Palmer?
Yeah.
With a
Kiki
straight
Palmer
face.
could do it.
Kiki Palmer.
She could do it, but she just looks so kick ass. I'm ready for them to put her in something like who's the new Star Wars girl?
The little,
I mean, yeah.
the white girl.
No, the new black girl.
Oh,
That they keep saying that they're gonna from
from
Oh,
Walking
you
Dead.
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Star
Oh
Trek.
yeah.
Yes.
Her name. I
From
can't
The
remember.
Walking
But
Dead.
Sasha from Walking Dead.
Yes. She would even be good.
Right.
Google.
Google.
Yes.
Right.
I'm terrible with
Yeah.
names. Let me put that up front.
Okay, well, we want to thank Miranda for coming in, talking about Caitlyn, man. I'll give her a full. We gonna play one song, man. We gonna get back. We gonna get these girls switched out,
Yes.
and we coming back with the second half of the show. Crystal Clear, Maggie Pie,
Want me to hit finish?
all that coming
Hit
up
finish?
next. Nah, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. They gonna get to see us. We gonna play. Who we gonna
Acting
play?
retarded.
We gonna play half a song.
I'm gonna sing.
What do you do? Where's the hat?
Ease and Esco. I don't even know what this shit sounds like.
Stop talking until I'm the time.
Yeah.
I feel like no one can stop me. We taking shots in the lobby. Turn up, don't get too sloppy. Oh yeah. What I told you.
Don't leave Miranda chill up
I'm
I am the man. I feel like no one can stop me. We taking
I am. I'm just getting everybody.
don't get too sloppy. Lay it down and the swear, nigga. I know she who your girl always be with. Well,
Alright. We gonna make it alright. We gonna take care of you. Don't be nervous. Whoa, good hand. You see him, man? Motherfucking Odell Beckham Jr.
Right. Yeah.
She got Yardbird.
You can go in there. Just go in there. Oh, here. It's
I feel like no one can stop me.
Say yeah. Is it a leg? Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you Brandon.
We on in a minute.
And you know it, clap your hands. I'm that nigga. I need drama, I need some fun. I was leaving until I'm the topic, cause I am the man. Sex in the lobby. Don't get too who your girl always be with? Well, I'm not.
20 seconds and we back on Uncouth Radio. 20 seconds!
If I see you twerk on this chicken one more time.
Yes, Uncouth Radio. We are back. We are here. We are in the house, and the house is packed.
Bye. Bye, y'all.
Y'all ready? We back? We good?
We back. We back. We back. We back.
Gotta get your groove on.
Sleigh ride.
Yes, boy, don't you play.
Sleigh ride.
Hey, man, I swear.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our next guest, Crystal Clear.
Look at this guy.
On Facebook, she's Maggie Pie right now. We want to thank you for coming. Look, don't look. She looking like we about to attack her. We not. We good. Like we chilling.
She nervous, y'all. She nervous.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Look.
I should have bought some drink.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Oh,
She
yeah.
can't.
I can't drink.
She can't drink.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
You had to say with that
My
face,
bad,
though.
my bad.
She can drink
She
wine.
got a twin.
Yeah, I can drink wine. Yeah.
She can drink wine. I can drink bourbon.
Oh, damn.
I'll drink for the three of
I'll drink
y'all.
for all three of us.
This guy.
I can't find it, Chan. Can you help me find it?
Yes, I can. That is it,
What you
Dave.
looking for, Dad?
Like exactly what you're looking at.
Why
is what
don't
it
you-
is.
Oh, it sure
Like
is.
literally, that's what exactly.
Don't make fun of me.
Are you nervous,
Don't do it.
Dad?
This nigga bougie got a fruit salad. Who raised Drew? Kim Kardashian.
Right.
You gotta prepare. You gotta have his food to prepare for
Raspberries.
We're
Ew.
trying to get the tech. Hey, don't worry, man. We getting the technical difficulties together over here. She's trying to share it, and I think between her and her, y'all good?
No.
Y'all got it figured out?
Yeah.
You need help?
No, it's good.
Okay. So, Crystal Clear, Maggie Pie. Tell us, give us a little bit about yourself. Give us a little brief intro to the people watching who may not know you, or the people who on live out knowing you.
Wait a minute. First, what do you want us to call you? He keeps calling you by two names. What do you want us to call you?
Crystal Clear is a stage name, so a lot of people know me by that name. Maggie is government, so either or, you know, they associate with the same name. It don't matter.
Now, we'll call you for the purpose of this. We'll call you Crystal.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Okay. So I was gonna call her by mom. What name your mama gave you?
Mama
My
name
dad?
Mama name was Maggie.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Oh, what?
Maggie.
Oh, I can't give you my full government.
Oh.
Maggie.
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 Let me text the homies. Alright, no, I go Crystal.
Okay, so Crystal, give us a brief intro of yourself. Let the people who may not know who you are.
I'm
Let them know who you are.
plus size porn star. Retired, 8 years now. Mother of 1, soon to be 2, well 3. That's
Congratulations.
pretty much it.
Class.
Yeah.
You gotta put them in.
All right, so before we dive all the way in,
You know everything is like a sexual innuendo now because she's on here.
and that sucks.
When you dive on
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks,
Nobody
Brandon.
wasn't even there, Brandon.
Not at all.
Yeah, now he gonna make the whole interview.
Sam, was I the only one that thought that?
Huh?
You can't ask Sam. He's a horrible person.
Right.
Of course he thought that. That's the wrong person. Of course Sam thought that.
Dang.
Dang, you're fired.
I'm an angel, bro. I don't even know what you talking
He's
about.
fired. James is
Sam's a
fired.
horrible
You're
person.
fired.
Of course that's what Sam said.
Why is that though? When I told him that earlier today, I was like, you're a horrible person, but it was about your daughter, the parent.
As you were saying.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We getting off track.
Sorry.
Okay, so you retired.
Yes.
This is my first question. How do you retire from porn?
Well, I can't say retire, you just stop. Like, either you're gonna continue to do it or you just don't do it anymore.
Is there a moment where you was like, I have to make a decision because I gotta go from, like, I'm gonna start going from plus size into another genre?
No.
And like, you didn't want to be like, I'm going from plus size to the cougar section? Is that what made you stop, or you
No,
just?
it's just the industry is
Cesspool.
not only that, there's a lot of disrespect. So I'm not a bitch just because I do what I do. Like, I did it for money. It wasn't for fame. It wasn't because somebody held a gun to my head or, a childhood. It was more like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get paid for it. Motherfuckers is out here fucking for free. At 19, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
So that's how old you were when you started. You were 19.
19, 20, felt around that age. So I just felt like,
Well, what was there anything in particular that made you start, or was it literally like a quick fucking moment? Like,
okay.
yeah, I need the
How I
origin story.
started?
I need the origin story.
Okay, how I started was, I used to watch porn, but it was like, I looked up big girl porn, like literally. I'm like, how these big girls getting on it doing? They really getting paid for this? But I was young, and it's basically what you put into the atmosphere you get. So me not knowing nothing, one day I just received an email. Oh, you can make such and such. Oh, I think I know what this email is. Let me call the number up and see, and pretty much it was what I expected, and I jumped head in.
How did they find you? Like,
I
how
don't
you get the
know.
random
That's the thing.
big
Like,
girl
I don't know
porn
how they
email?
find me. It was just like a random. It was a
Did they look at? Did they check your search history?
I guess so, but it was just a
That Brian
random
Pumper saw you at
email.
Fox Hill.
Nobody knew who I was. There was no
So
pictures.
this was like your destiny.
Yeah, you can say that. It was like, okay, well, I'll do it. So I just ended up doing it.
I got a question. Without obviously knowing exactly what you got paid, because you hear all kind of numbers, like, man, porn stars make a bank, and they.
No, they not. They lying.
So what's a typical for average porn star?
I don't know, because I'm not white.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
It's
okay,
racist.
dive into that a little
Yeah.
bit. Talk about that a
I
little
mean,
bit.
it comes, like I said, there's a respect. Me personally, I think that black people fuck a whole lot better than white people. It's not something that I would want to see. But I think for us, we should get paid equal. But of course, we don't live in an equal society or a world, so there's always a thin line. So it's like if you're not a size 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, fake boobs, blonde hair, blue eyes, they look at you just like, well, I don't want to go that far, but like you just another female. We're gonna run you over. When we done with you, we gonna, that's it. Fortunately, it didn't happen to me, because, but if you're not white, you're not making the amount of money because you're
So
not
how
white.
big is the difference between
Yeah.
what white actors make and black actors make?
So let's say for a regular male female scene, a white girl may get like 1,200. A black female may get like what, 6, 5,
Damn.
So,
8.
so I've heard from just like certain interviews I've seen of like porn stars where they say like a lot of times it'd even be the black directors that would shit on the black porn actresses more so than the white directors.
Yep, that's true too. That's true. I pretty much I've gotten paid less by a black director than I did from a white person. Like there's a different respect level. So my thing is, I go in, do my job, cut me my check, shower, and I'm out. I'm not gonna hang around. I'm not your friend. You know, this is a business exchange, and that's how I'm taking it. This is as business. But you know, white girls, they like money. They like it. You know what I'm saying? So they do extra shit. I think we all have done extra shit, escorted or whatever the case may be, but you see more black women doing it now because it's so in high demand. A lot of people don't know that black women are more asked for in escorts than white.
Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah, that's what
I feel like it's everybody's like secret taboo.
Yeah, that's
taboo.
definitely surprising.
So it's like, of course, we're gonna be like, well, fuck, you just fucked me over some amount of money that I gotta go get it over here now. So there's a thing where it's white and black. They're gonna pay you white. You black, it's like, well, can you do it for this? Or can you do it for that? I'm like, don't lowball me because I'm black. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have the money. Well, if you don't got the fucking money, you should never fucking call. Because I know for sure if it was a white girl and you a black man, you're gonna pay this bitch to do it. No questions asked. But because I'm the same color as you, I have to get disrespected and called a bitch and treated in a disrespectful manner.
What was it something you just grew out of? Like one day, because you said you started when you was 19. Did it just come to one day you was like, you know what? Like,
Pretty much. It just got to the point where, you know, I was getting talked about and by smaller girls because I wasn't their size, you know, and I had a lot more camera time than them. But okay, little bitch, it's not your time. Okay, what I'm saying? No, people don't want to see skinny bitches all the time fucking on camera. Like, give somebody else.
No, we don't.
Give somebody else a time. So my time came and they got mad. Oh, you know, Crystal, she stuck up. She did, she that. Why? Because I don't hang around your ass. We not friends.
So you, because, you know, I went to school with a couple of girls that was in the industry, and you kind of confirming what they said. They treated it like a business. Like, I go to work, I do my job, and I leave.
Well, see, a lot of people don't know that during that, I was in school and I had another job. I also didn't have a child. But they don't look at that. They just see that.
Yeah.
That's like that ends up defining you in that moment.
No, not really. It don't define me at
Well,
all.
no, not to you, but I said to other people.
Yes.
It would. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask too, like, how hard is it for people to disassociate Crystal from Maggie, like in your real life? Like, do guys dating wise, do they just automatically, oh yeah, she a freak, I'm about to, yeah, that's Crystal Clear right there.
It's very,
That was the creepy.
I hate that.
You hear how quiet it got, because we all was like,
He got too real.
He's not lying. Like, it's very hard because you do get creeps like that. And you're like, what the fuck? Come on, man.
Stanley's from Players Club.
Yeah, you know, so it's just...
Yeah. So
creepy.
okay. So before we get to your dating
It's
life,
so creepy that there's a guy. I couldn't give you his name because I don't know his name. And every show that I've done, this guy is at. And it's weird.
Getting all the information.
It's weird. To the point where he's like, oh my God, nigga, you wanna lick my feet? Like that. So it's uncomfortable because it's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. Like,
okay. So you say you didn't sign up for this shit. So this is my question. The look on your face.
you just shit comes at you.
So
are
there things about it now in hindsight that you regret about it, or
No.
you just like it's part of my story, part of my life? That's what it is.
It's just part of my life. Like, I can't sit here and say I regret doing it because I don't. You know, I did
That's
it.
what's up.
But it was never something that I planned on doing for a long ass time. I mean, come on, look at Cherokee old ass. She's still doing porn.
Yeah,
Like, when you gonna fucking,
She was
you
doing
got
porn
a
since I was
kid.
like 14.
I'm
man.
saying, so it's like, no, it's not that ass because her shit's saggy. So I mean, there's a difference between, I don't know. To me, it's a psychological programming. You stuck. You have literally become what did they say? What's the word I'm looking for? A product of your environment. And it's like a lot of women, they feel that they can't do anything else. That's a fucking lie. Take your ass to school. Get a regular job. Fucking find something, but that right there, you're not leaving nothing for your kids, but you just messed up their life.
In that particular market, how do you brand yourself? Like, what do you do as an actress to say, you know what, I have to, I mean, other than being attractive and being desirable, what are the extra steps that you do to brand yourself, to set yourself apart from the next person?
Well, that's a good question. I never had to do that because I didn't see too many big women doing what I was doing. So at the time, the fame came so quick, I'm like, what? I'm shooting all the time. And then it was just like I had to deal with black men working for a white man, and the black man think he can disrespect you because he worked for the white man, then that black man get cussed out by me because I'm crazy and you're not going to disrespect me or fuck me out of my money, and I'm going to call you a bitch and call you a boss. I've done it. You're not going to mess my money up. I don't care how you feel. But if I'm not disrespecting you, don't disrespect me. But branding comes on, okay, Cherokee, she got a fat ass. That's it.
That's her thing, man.
That's her thing. That's her thing. I mean, you have Data Fire. What's her thing? She's been around. She's been around, you know?
Making an ugly face.
Wait, what?
Wait,
Brenda's voice came to life as your look right now. Like, that's what's going on.
She's sneakily watching the porn.
Yeah, she said, I mean, she just works. She don't sneak.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Speaking of, like, you know, branding yourself, when you're in public, do you see the moment when people realize who you are? Like, do you see that shit switch when niggas like,
Yeah.
do you ever see that moment where it clicked to them who you are?
Wait, there was a time I had, first time in New York City, I get out of the cab, Times Square, me and a friend. Next thing you know, Crystal Clear. I'm like, what the fuck? Next thing you know, this dude come running up for me. I'm like, we in the middle of Times Square. There's millions of fucking people out here, and you notice me getting out of a cab. So it's like, it's scary. It's very scary,
Right.
And it's just not something that I
know a lot of these probably like, I know you from somewhere.
all the time. But not only men, women.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. Yeah.
And I,
Clearly, Chandra.
and I just be like, oh, okay. Like, recently I did an appearance, and nobody, they recognized me, but they couldn't recognize me because of the weight loss. So, I mean, of course, I'm pregnant now, but people are like, are you such and such? I'm like, yeah. They like, damn. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's an upgrade. Like, you.
No, hell no. You like that fluff on me.
No, they like, you look better now. Because before, I was bigger, 298 pounds. Then, I left.
But that's
the
when he was
industry.
on fire, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. He was in the industry on fire at 298.
I left the industry. And then I'm like, okay, well, I worked out. That's something that I like doing. Some people are like, oh, did you lose weight for this? No, motherfucker, I lost weight for me. Who want to be fucking fat and unhealthy as they get older? I don't. I'm 32 years old. I'm not trying to be out of shape and shit at 35 looking like I'm 45. Hell no.
All right.
So I take care of yourself.
Someone in the group asked, did you reach your financial goals?
Fuck no.
Well,
That's a white girl
there you
that
go.
shit. I bet you they reach their financial goals.
I have a question for you. So, I see you're transitioning to motherhood. So, one day, your son come home and someone, hey, I saw your mom on such and such.
And you know what he gonna say? And
So, is that something you would
No.
discuss with him early, or?
no, not at all. For the simple fact that my son came after, not during, not before. He didn't have to witness any of that, so it shouldn't be an issue.
So, is that something you would ever discuss with him, or?
If he asked me, or if he came up to me and said, Mom, somebody at school said such and such, well, son, that was before your time. that was before your time. So it doesn't affect me. Some women, they may feel like, oh, but you know, you're ruining. No, I'm not ruining. He came after. It's not like most women who do pregnant porn. That's disrespect. In my eyes.
I get the question, because like, kids are cruel, you know. I mean, they'll come to kids with the smallest shit, you know. So, it's almost like, where do we draw a line? Like, let's hypothetically say when I have a kid and he sees a movie that I was cursing. I mean, and he's like that, you know what I mean? I mean, I think the stigma of people in porn.
What is
What
Buzz Lightyear snack crackle pop?
All right, go ahead.
I think just the stigma itself of like porn, it like everything is magnified, as if a parent who may have been involved in porn has to somehow talk differently to their kid from somebody who's an actor that.
Well, I think
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, I think it's different because her attitude towards it is a little healthier
Right.
in regards to she's not like on some, she was trying to hide this shit
Right.
and she doesn't feel regret, she doesn't feel ashamed. So I think her attitude towards it is what makes it different, because I know somebody who was, and they regretted it and their attitude was different. So when
But my thing is, how can you regret something you knew what you were doing before you fucking started? So now you want people to feel bad for you because you feel bad for yourself?
Well,
I'm not going to feel bad for you.
I don't necessarily think it's feeling bad for you. I think now, because of like the internet and because everything is like so like there and not going anywhere, it's a little bit different than like when people were popping in the tapes.
The VHS.
Like now you know anybody can like Google your name and it comes up, your videos come up, and of course your attitude about it is great, but it's still there. You know what I mean? And
This is the thing. I've heard stories from multiple, ex-porn stars, and they're like, oh, I was forced to do this, and I wanted to kill myself. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Did somebody put a gun to your head and say, bitch, you finna do an orgy? No, you made the conscious decision to do that orgy, to do that gangbang, or to do whatever, and now you want to kill yourself? I don't get this.
Well, no, because some people maybe they were in a different place.
I was gonna say, what was the appeal at 19 for you to want to start porn? Like at 19,
the appeal was like, look at these big girls. My thing was money.
Opportunity.
Money. Yeah, it was like, okay, let me get in where I fit in, but it was never. It's just something that I just looked at. I was exposed at a young age to sexual acts, to a lot of things. So getting older, it was like, well, these females out here, they was having babies at their age. I didn't have my son until I was 27. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go party, do whatever, go to school, and I'm make my money. That's pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a time where you have to take care of yourself when you don't know. So you go by any means necessary. So I'm like, by any means necessary.
if you were you now at this age, being a mother, and you met a young girl, 19, that was like, well, I'm about to go make my money, would you talk to her about it, like based on what you know about the industry?
I would definitely tell her not to, because things has definitely changed. Plus, you're not gonna make no fucking money nowadays any damn way.
Well, here's my thing. You sound real angry when it comes to the directors. Like,
let me tell you why.
No, wait. So I want to know, were there specific circumstances as to the reason why? Like, it's like we all have our things that we hate. Like Quincy hates the cops, right? So, and he has good reason for it. And you have said, like, people have tried to mess with your money and that kind of thing. Was that like the norm across the board?
You know,
and you
it was
kept
just,
doing it for years?
It's just like, don't disrespect me. Point blank, period. If I'm being nice and genuine to you, then I deserve the same respect.
Was it like regular, everyday disrespect?
It was every now and then, depending on who you worked for. Okay, I did a lot of movies where it's basically angels or angles or whatever the fuck you want to call it. TT Boy, and of course there's one director, Mark Anthony. He's a bitch to me. Because if you're going to call me a bitch and try to fuck me out of my money, I'm going to call you a bitch too. And I'm not one to be played with. I'm going to call your boss. Or your whole set going to be fucked up. Point blank period. Because I'm not a bitch.
Right.
So don't disrespect all these other bitches in here. You can talk like that to them because they allow it. I'm not going to allow it. Because at the end of the day, it's a job for me. It's not something that, I just stumbled upon or, I looked into it like, okay, whatever, cool, yeah. But then when the disrespect starts, because you feel some type of way about me, I'm sorry if you didn't get your dick sucked, but I don't get down like that, I don't do things, okay, I go in, do my scene, get my money. You're not going to see me hanging around after the set, fiddling and faddling with other co-workers. That's not me. Y'all do that. You get disrespected. I'm not going to do that. Give me my money so I can get
I got a question. Actually, for everybody on the panel, tell me if you guys think that because of the profession, do you think that like directors or other people think like almost like how can you ask for respect when you're doing something that the society
I get what you're saying, yeah.
uses disrespectful? Where she's coming from is like it's a job like any other job that you do. So don't disrespect me.
Well,
but my question is, do y'all think it comes from just automatically these directors already like, bitch, you ain't one?
I think that's one part of it, and even worse, and I hate to say it, it's fucking patriarchy. Like that part, like that specific part in regards to that is patriarchy, and on top of that, the job. So it's almost like the shit you would have to go through on a regular job just as a woman, right? Now on top of the ingredient of sex being added into it to make, because like if a man is doing porn, like he's looked at as like
it's
a stud
okay.
hero, but if a woman's doing porn, she's looked at as less than. You know what I mean? So I think it's two parts. And like she said, I think it's a scummy fucking business. So you're gonna deal with a bunch of scummy ass niggas, like you know what I mean?
Here's my question. One thing that we always talk about on the show is, us as a people rising, taking control over stuff, property, our businesses and so forth. So my thing is, in that industry, why aren't there more porn stars saying, okay, you know what? I know enough of the business. Fuck you. I don't need you to direct anymore. I know the business. I'm gonna get, find resources, and I'm gonna start making my own movies.
What?
Is that something that's happening, or is that not happening? Are there not enough black people doing that, rising up?
I mean, as far as when have you ever seen black people arise and come together this day and age? Like seriously, like there's so much hatred towards each other. Her ass is bigger than mine. She's light skinned and I'm dark skinned. What the fuck is that?
So that shit is bad.
So it's just like I
can't see. I couldn't see them getting together. I mean, if you think about it, the immediate
because there's always
I'm gonna get my money.
So okay, you gotta look at it like this. You have take Pinky for instance. She started on her own. She did her own shit. Then she got into the business and she started her own shit then. She became successful and then she gained weight and then she became this BBW, what the fuck? And I just don't, I don't know, and then she fucking fell off. So,
when you say she got into it on her own, what do you mean? She was like a YouTube star?
Amateur.
I mean, I seen the girl before. I met her in person, and I seen like she had a website.
Oh, okay.
And she may have been naked doing splits, working out, butt naked, and I was like, oh, okay. She had a nice body, she was short.
Yeah, she did.
She looked like, Pinky and the Brain, like, you think of Pinky and the Brain, one of them two. So I'm like, okay. So her niche is this. She could clap her booty.
In the tan lines.
You know what I'm saying? She could make it like.
In the tan lines.
That's a tan line.
But she was smart. She had her own website, and you basically paid a membership to get in.
She had a guy. She was with a guy, her boyfriend at the time. So it was basically him and her.
So still a dude running it.
So it's still exactly, yeah, I'm saying. So either way, I don't know any female, no female that's doing it by themselves. I don't know any female. And then it's like you see.
That's crazy because if y'all literally, like, if you really think about it, if all the big female porn stars really got together, like, we're gonna do our own shit. Because people don't really watch, like, for the guys. Like, they follow y'all.
Right.
Like, you could name, like, 2 or 3 male porn dudes, but if you name, like you said, you probably named, like, 7 females so far, and everybody knew the female so far. So if all the females really got together and did their own thing and had, like, somebody at the helm who was business savvy, I think that's your empire, Sam. But
I think you need to do that at the next porn convention. You need to have your own booth. Bring them hoes together. Let's do it.
Bring the hoes together. Porn convention 2017.
I don't attend any of the conventions. I mean, one question.
Because you don't have the business because of the kids.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know.
Okay.
I'm
fine.
I mean, when somebody asked me this, how did you separate yourself from the industry and, you know, live a regular life? Because he says, I see other girls who are out of the industry, but they still associate themselves with the industry. And I'm like, well, I never had a desire to stay in for years at a time. That was never, you know, my thing. Like, I did it for a short while. Okay, cool. Time to move on.
How was the transition into normal life?
The transition was easy because I was already living a normal life.
Because you said you already had a regular job.
Already had a regular.
But I mean, like in the dude situation, because you have kids. So when you met somebody, you were already in the business, and were they? Like,
no, I didn't date really when I was in the business. I didn't feel.
Oh, so you were out of the business when you met your.
Yes.
Your
my son's father. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't date in the industry because. I didn't want to put somebody in that position. If I'm doing it or if you're doing it, well, I'm going to go do it too. I know, well, guess what? Then I'm just going to be single. I just didn't want, you know, to me, to be in a relationship in the industry and you're having a relationship, you're putting yourself and your partner at risk of STDs. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to worry about, well, is this guy fucking around on me because I'm over here shooting the scene? I had one relationship, just one. And it lasted, but it was an open relationship.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like, people say, oh, it was open because of the sex. No. It was open because, number one, it's long distance. And I left it open because I felt like you can have your past. You know what I'm saying? Did this person walk out on me and do that? Fucking no. But I've always been honest. And if you're not honest, then that leads to issues and arguments and, oh, you lied about this. And it's like, well, nobody can ever say they dated me and didn't know I did porn. Because I'm going to tell you up front, hey, you want to continue this? This is what I used to do because eventually it's going to get out. So I'm going to tell you right now instead of you finding out from somebody else.
Yeah, Thanksgiving dinner, Uncle Junie looking like, hey, goddamn!
Yeah, exactly. So
I got a movie for us to watch.
So let me ask you something. Let me ask you, how did your family and friends react when you first got in business or when they started realizing that you seriously like doing this?
Wait, what was that question again?
How did your friends and family react?
They don't know yet.
No,
They just found out right now on Facebook.
No, my whole family knew, but they knew like bits and pieces. Like I had a cousin who would drive me to my scenes. You know, hey cousin, here goes some gas, yada yada yada. If I had to go see a client, I had a cousin that, you know, or I had an auntie that went with me. Like my family knew. My dad didn't really know so much until one day this nigga seen me on a convention.
Ooh.
He was like, yeah, I seen you on after the convention. You was down there in Vegas. So I said, yeah, and
Okay.
I'm fucking grown.
There it is there.
I'm fucking grown. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my dad was a hoe. That nigga had straight female. My mama was a hoe. So, I mean, shit, I kind of got it honest. You can't be mad at me if you see me on the TV.
That's the real shit right there.
I'm just being real. Like, my mom was literally a fucking hoe. Like, now my dad, he just had females. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bitches come over, clean up and shit. And I already knew they fucked, cause this bitches in here cleaning up.
Right.
You know, man, shit. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, but I got it honest. Huh?
You said they were getting paid.
Who, my dad? Yeah, he was tricky too. Man, please. Shit.
Okay, so this is kind of like. So,
Family business.
Yeah, it's like the family business. For you, it's embedded. So you look at this whole shit differently anyway. You didn't grow up in like the shelter, like Christian household where like you would be shamed for this shit.
No, I mean, growing up, I was moved around a lot. I didn't really stay in one stable home.
Do you think any of that contributed
To porn?
mm-hmm. to you being interested in that? Because you said you just looked at it, right? And
Well,
then it
at
showed
a
you
young
email
age,
Mhm.
I didn't really know. I didn't know what porn was, but I seen my dad, you know, do the nasty.
Mhm.
He didn't know, but you know, in the middle of the night, you hearing stuff, you like, oh shit, and then you smile to yourself like, he ain't there. Go back to bed. You know, I
Right.
seen it, but I mean, shit, who hasn't? You know,
Right.
but still. You know, growing up, I wasn't in a stable home. Even I had an issue with black men at a young age, being molested by black boys and foster homes and group homes, and you know, so that explains why my son is white.
Right.
But it was just one of those things where I really can't put two and two together because.
Did you ever resentment from men because of that? Like
No.
being molested like that? How old are you?
32.
No.
How old was I? Shit, 6, 7.
Oh,
I was
shit.
young. Yeah, I was really young, so I didn't really, you know, I wasn't old to understand. I wasn't old enough to
Still
understand.
comprehend what was kind of.
I just knew what was going on was wrong,
Mhm.
and I knew I didn't have anything to do with it. But even growing up as a teenager, I had older men hitting on me because I was more developed than your average teenager, and I would just be like, "You fucking sick!" Like to me, you're sick. You're looking at a kid, you know, and it happens today. You know, you have hormones in the food. You got 16-year-olds or 13-year-olds looking like they 18, and the man ended up going to jail for statutory rape because he didn't know this girl was 13 or 14 years old.
Right.
How is that their fault?
Do you think it led to like the sexualized thinking though that got you into porn though? I mean, because you could have went a number of different ways experiencing what you experienced, right? You could have went to stripping, you could have went to school and ended up
I mean, I
helping.
would never go to no stripping because I ain't got no tricks in my bag. And I just refuse to fucking come up with some tricks on a pole to make $1. No, I'm not doing that.
Right.
You know, I'm not acrobatic. I'm sorry. I just never got into the stripping because number one, it's fucking too much work and I don't like heels. And the outfits, I mean, the outfits, they raunchy.
Can be stripping your flip flops.
They raunchy.
No, I think.
That'll be me.
I'm stripping his
I think it's Old Navy flip flops.
But then when you look at strippers, they look like they want to do porn.
Well, no, I mean, well, strippers, they just fuck people after they strip.
Yeah, but like, where's the fun in
For
that?
money.
All right, well, let me ask you a couple more questions about you. And
I
then-
just want to say this real quick. I just think, first of all, everybody just needs to get on this fake moral high ground. Like, we fucks.
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
fucks.
Yeah.
Some people do it on the screen.
Wait. Who was on the moral high?
No, I'm just talking about.
Oh, in general.
society. Yeah, you know how nobody here.
No, I'm
clearly.
just saying, this audience.
No, I'm talking about as a whole, like,
Okay.
how everybody be like, I'm like,
is this a comment from the audience or because this right here? Stop it.
yeah, but I'm like that fake moral outrage. I'm like,
Sit your ass.
Yeah, everybody looks at it like that. They feel like they don't do what we do on camera. We do exactly what
Well, not
you
since
do,
camera phones,
but it may
everybody
be
do.
Right.
a lot nastier. It may be like, but see, this is what a lot of men don't understand. Somebody asked me this, and they said, "Do you like big ones?" You know, I said, of course you would ask that because that's what you see me with, big ones. I said, but understand the contrast. You have a big girl why would you put that big girl with somebody 6, 7 inches? You're not seeing nothing. Okay?
So it's like a
not-
special effect. This is a movie sequence.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It's uncomfortable to have.
No, she's saying if they can't put her with somebody small because you're not gonna see it. That's her special effect.
So men automatically assume I got
Well, because if a nigga's coming to date you, he gonna be like, but I'm saying if a nigga dating you, he like, I seen you on screen with nothing but monsters. And I'm a regular nigga. I'm supposed to follow that.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how to follow that. I'm gonna tell you how to follow that. My son was born 6 pounds, 4 ounces, and I could not push him out. I had to get an episiotomy. So that should tell you right there. I had to get cut just to have him. I'm small. So just because you see me with a big one, that don't mean I like it.
No. Meaning she got cut from the tutor to the ruler.
Damn, why you have to keep asking questions?
So it's like, so they assume like you like, you know.
Sam has a question.
I have a question.
Have you heard of Deuteronomy before?
Hey, what's going Right after Genesis.
Right.
You had a Deuteronomy.
And you know what? This conversation with Deuteronomy, I'm not about it.
What's your question, Sam?
So, these women that are on, I think as I'm older, I'm more conscious about it. And most of us, I'm assuming, just already go to our favorite scene on the point anyway. So, fuck all that bullshit. But, how much of it would you say is acting?
All of it.
It's all acting?
It's
So all them damn moans and shit,
And you
real?
just
How many women you been with?
It's just like wrestling.
I'm saying it's fake. Yeah, you know, it comes off real, but I mean,
hurt my feelings
come
right now.
on now.
So when is it
Nobody
enjoyable?
moves that loud
So-
when they're doing it.
So when
Okay?
is it still enjoyable?
No,
None
no.
of it is.
It's not really because, you know, I'm just not into big ass fucking cocks. Like, that's just not my, I don't need something 11, 13, 12 years old.
You just gave a lot of niggas hope. Niggas were like,
Jordan, because you got hope.
you got a whole lot of niggas fist pumping on Facebook right now. You don't need a what? Oh, all that confidence is back, baby. I'm back, baby.
I mean, but
You just feel some insecurities.
it's just reality. Okay.
Little dick niggas everywhere coming in.
Yeah, it's just a reality. It's just a reality.
Right. But I'm saying it's good to talk to you because I'm sure a lot of guys would really think like, oh, I've seen her in movies with nothing but big guys. She's not gonna want to fuck with me. Or they probably think you've been doing so much of your like yo, she's so ill with the porn shit. Like I can't compete with her in bed or I can't hang. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I got that
they
Goldilocks.
can hang.
It ain't too big.
I'm sorry, but I'm a
It ain't too
Sagittarius. Okay.
yeah, because that got shit to do with porn,
No,
right?
I'm a Sagittarius.
It does. In her mind, it means that they're sexual.
I'm a Sagittarius. And
Oh, you now?
I'm sorry, but
Hey,
a nigga
watch
cannot
it.
hang with me because you're going to come. I'm gonna want it again. You're gonna come. I'm gonna want it again. You're
What's wrong
going
with
to be
that?
worn the fuck out. Like what the fuck? You cannot hang.
Karen people can do
That's
that.
what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
that's just what it
You
is.
gonna have men everywhere
We
looking
got
at
a trophy around here
that
somewhere.
I'm just saying.
We got a trophy to give away.
Yeah. So
You got some potato salad.
I mean, but
Mountain Dew.
you have good people in the industry, and then you have, you know.
So that's what I want to ask you. How did you, for lack of a better term, how did you get it up for somebody you totally was unattracted to? Like, I know you probably had to do with something you thought was just gross. Cause the difference, cause in real world, a woman's gonna be
Let
like,
me tell you, there's this guy. His name is Nathan Threat.
This
This nigga dark with dreads, just, we were doing a scene, we're about to. He came in, and then I'm about to, you know, go suck his, you know what. This nigga balls stank. And
His boss did what?
he stank, nigga. You just fucking came from outside. Hold on, you just came from outside, and you want to do a scene? No, nigga.
nigga.
Play pickup game like.
I had
Y'all
to
ready?
tell him like, you know, you.
This is unprofessional.
And the director was like, oh, you cannot say that because no, this is what he said. You cannot say that because the guy does not get aroused. And I said, I can't say that because the guy doesn't get aroused, but this nigga just came up in my face with musty balls, and you want me to suck his dick? How am I to get aroused?
Did you say something?
Yes, the fuck
Sam,
I
are you
did. And that nigga
Googling
went to
this
go
nigga?
take a shower.
You know he is.
She saw the rest of them.
I didn't see him.
I made sure I always looked at the
Sarah, you just Google Nathan.
Yes, he did. You know he did.
It's on the internet, and I never knew it was on the internet until somebody told me. Somebody was like,
Come out the behind the
you are
scenes of
funny
that?
as hell. You clown the shit. And I'm like, that's just how I am. You're not gonna, what they call it, behind the scenes? Behind the scenes.
Fast forward.
And I didn't know that they were recording.
Oh, wow.
I didn't give a shit either.
I mean,
Because
clearly.
come on, who wants to go down on the same pussy? What you gonna say?
Nobody.
So I'm saying, why should I be sucking
Yeah,
this
I'm
thing?
done.
No, you should not.
I'm getting up and I'm going home.
That is a double standard that we
We're
are,
not talking about.
yeah, that has not been talked about.
And
Well, I
you
think
can
we
be
all-
I think it should be discussed.
No,
And
we
you
all
can
agree
be
on
right
What?
either way.
Stanky balls?
You
No,
know,
thank
and
either
you
way.
don't.
It should
That's
happen.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Keep it junk.
No, you gotta tell people though. Or you just get up and leave.
That's the only other option.
That's the
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
I didn't know this.
Brandon said-
How annoying is Wesley Pipes? That
He is very annoying.
Yeah.
Ugh,
That has
bitch.
to be
We gonna make this movie bomb, bitch.
This has to be he has to be the most.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, I quit
he be
mine.
like, ugh,
Like, he
bitch.
just talk shit.
Yeah,
He talk
yeah.
about-
Yeah, dick dog.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
him.
going in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
bitch.
keeping that
You
pussy.
feel this
Yeah,
dog,
bitch.
I'm out.
bitch? That's Wesley Pipes.
So he has to be the most ignorant person I have
Poor
ever
kid.
met.
He
On
could've
and
been
on
turned
camera, he's fucking ignorant as fuck. He's the same
You ain't
way
seen his rap
So
videos?
they be acting too?
I did not. No.
He got, hey, you need to see
Okay,
his
the
rap
only
videos.
person I ever had a good scene with,
Ooh,
Oh,
Nigga, wait. We gonna close up on this shit. What?
why? Because
Oh.
it's always good to work with somebody who also respects you. Now, there is an actor who his name is CJ Wright. He's like caramel, like light.
He look like R.
no
Kelly.
complexion. No, he don't.
Jamila.
But the thing is, he like working. Yes, he like working with big girls.
Wait.
So
Wait.
this he is I have fun with him. We had chemistry. It's always fun to do a scene with somebody who had chemistry because y'all like hell yeah, you know. But I liked working with him because his shots were not like everybody else's shots. So he has respect for you. He's not gonna call you out your name. You do a scene with him, he coming out the pocket for a makeup artist. He gonna make sure you straight. Or he'll have his own outfits that he wants you to wear. Or he's very like into his I like big girls.
Crap.
You know.
That's dope, though.
So
That is dope.
you know, I even had he told me one day.
No.
What the fuck is this nigga name? Rico. Damn that bitch. Okay, Rico Strong. He don't like big girls. So he say, oh, I gotta work with a fat girl today.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes, he don't like. But at the same time, you want to say now when you was in it, nigga, it was good to you. We did it again, nigga. We hired, you know what I'm saying? So
She
it's
got the
like,
bounce.
yeah, because you want to talk.
Does he do other things?
Who, Rico?
Yeah.
Like gay movies? No, that's
In his own time? In his own time?
He said in his own time.
Somebody got to get exposed.
Brandon about to
I mean, I've worked with him. I've worked with
In his own time.
what you say
I
that
know.
guy is? What you say?
Wesley Pipes.
No,
Brian Pumper.
y'all worked with him?
JC, what about JC?
No.
that was before her time.
Oh my God, you know.
Right.
know.
But I mean, I worked with Brian Pumper,
I need to grow up.
and he has to be the most
I
corniest
just t-shirts all this like
guy I ever met.
With the fake chains.
No, here's one thing. I used to have braces. When I first started, I had braces. And his, you know what, just so happened to get caught in my braces.
Oh, wait, razor.
Yeah, we were doing a scene and he decided that he wanted to shove his beak in my mouth, his dick, and he cut himself. But here's how he acted. Oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to work. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose money. Oh my God. Are you fucking serious?
He was sitting up for the lawsuit.
No, he wasn't setting up for no
I
fucking
think he's kind of
lawsuit.
slow too, though. I think he's a little slow. I think he's like
Brian
No,
Humber.
I think
Brian Bumper is mentally
I
challenged.
think that I'm
because
gonna give
of
you
the
my honest
injury.
opinion.
I think he
He
done
can't
some
perform
different kind of
anything.
No,
drugs.
I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. He ain't on drugs.
He got his head bumped something.
He is a weirdo. Anybody who likes to sniff your asshole is a fucking weirdo. This is what he is into.
I did not think that's where this is going.
Y'all ain't watching that movie.
You an ass.
Yes. Anybody who will, I literally,
Walk around like
I
that.
ducked and dodged. This guy came into my job one day.
Sniff it, not be
And
on
I'm
the
like, fuck. I had to duck and dodge from him.
From who?
Brian
You
Pumper.
have to dodge Brian Humber?
Because I'm in the background. I like to watch. I observe. So I be like, so he's trying to recruit one of the employees.
Oh, that's what he do. He goes out.
Yeah,
He's a recruiter.
He's the Nick Saban
He
of
will be up in Home
You
Depot.
know, this is the thing. If he
He's the
wasn't,
Nick Saban of
He's a
porn.
little lazy guy.
But if he wasn't so weird and so, nigga, take them fucking fake ass chains off and now really don't have the money for that shit, okay? You're not making that money. You making what, 800 a scene? These men are making what, 300-500 a scene? Yes, because this is the thing, men get shot more than women, okay? Because they need the man more than the girl. So they getting 800, 300, 400.
Damn, I really thought
They're
it was more
not
money in
getting,
porn than that.
no.
That's why you gotta be a regular. You gotta brand. You gotta become a star. That's what he was asking. Like, what's her name? Yeah, Pinky and all that. She had her own website. She was.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
tan
Crystal, well, let me ask you this. What's next for you? What's next for
Marcus?
Mr.
What's next for
Marcus,
Maggie? What's next for Maggie? Going from Crystal clear to what's next for Maggie? What's next? The next chapter of your life gonna look like?
Oh, bright? I hope. Shit.
You gonna be a bride?
I said bright. I
Oh,
hope.
bride. Oh, okay.
I go to school, so, you know, I want to own my own business. I'm a makeup artist. I'm in the skin. You know, I have an exam coming up. I do want to do a web series, but
On what?
it's me.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, you don't see, this is what bothers me. Like you said, getting caught up with the Kardashians, fuck them. Because they didn't fuck every black man they didn't step, they didn't fuck all their lives over. Like, it's like, okay, what makes you guys so special that you need to be on TV 24/7? Where is the real struggle on television? You know, a lot of people ask me, well, as an ex-porn star, is it easy for you? Is it hard? I mean, it is what you make it. Can I say it's easy? No, it's not easy at all. But if you keep going, it'll get easier. Would I ever go back? No. I don't have the desire to. This is not a problem. I just don't care for it at the time.
And you have all sons?
I just have him,
Oh, okay.
and I have a boy and a girl.
Oh, you have twins.
Yes. So my energy is low. But my next step is to own my own aesthetic spa. Like, that's just what I'm into, and to cater to my own black women. You know, a long time, I didn't like being black. I didn't like being, you know, a girl, a black girl. Because I felt like the shit that I went through was bullshit. I got cheated out of life. You know, white people get a lot more support from their families than blacks. We tend to be pushed off because we have problems. You know, and what it is, okay, well, motherfucker, you have problems too. So what gives you the right to judge me and you did the same shit or somewhere near it? But the thing is, because of psychological programming, we don't care about each other.
Have you ever thought about, based on what you've been through, to go and maybe be the one that goes and talks to girls that are coming up in similar situations?
No, I would love to. I would definitely love to. It's just finding places. You know, you have to. It's all a business order. You know, you can't just walk into somebody and be like, "Hey, yeah, I'm coming up in here and I want to talk to your girls about porn and life." They're gonna look at me like, "Who the fuck are you?" And no, bye, because what do you? You know what I'm saying? There is a process of doing things like this. We live in an age where sex is now a fucking hobby.
It's the norm, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? I'm about to go get some.
Well, I will say this, Meg, like, I think that was a great question, too, by the way. And I think it starts with doing stuff like this, you know, like, telling your story. And you then giving her the platform to kind of do that. Because people don't know that being a porn star is not glamorous. And
Yeah, like I really learned a lot from her and from this interview, and I'm sure a lot of people watching did. Like you say, like we come up growing up and watching it, you thinking it's a glamorous thing. Cause I know almost every 14-year-old boy answer is, "I want to be a porn star when I grow up." You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
you know what? I told a friend this the other day. I said, I have taken part in the new generation's life. I have received Instagram DMs from guys who will be like, who would be like, "Oh, I've been watching you since I was 16. And I'm like, "Oh man, like I didn't fuck this kid's head up. Like he shouldn't be watching porn. And what are your parents teaching you?"
16.
So
That's old. That's late.
That's old, but I mean, still, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a minor. You know, I'm older than you. You are a minor. Like, I get 21, 22-year-olds. It's like, damn, what's going on? So you kind of feel responsible because.
well, yeah, you were part of a lot of dudes. Not child, like a lot of dudes, adolescents.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's a gift. That's a part
But
of growing
you
up.
also have to know that it's not a life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel that. Yeah, it's not real life.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying for you, like to understand, like there are certain porn stars that, like, I guarantee you, almost everybody in here is probably like, you can immediately go to that you're connected to from like your teenage years.
Yeah.
Like this one, like everybody got a name in their head right now. I ain't even gotta ask. I just know everybody got a name in their head right now that you go to. You may be that for some people and for somebody. And I know that shit is crazy. Yeah, for a lot of people. And I know that shit is crazy, but you know, I think one thing I think is dope that you're here to tell your story. I think that you're fearless for the way that you telling your story and the way that you live in your life. And I appreciate you for coming. Whole Uncouth, we want to thank you for coming and really telling your story. I hope you didn't grill you too hard.
No, I mean, there's definitely lots more to tell, you know, but.
Well, we don't have to have like
a
post-show Q&A.
You know
what I'm
definitely feel responsible. And then at the same time, you see sex everywhere, and these young girls automatically turn to sex because they feel that they're not pretty enough, they're not smart enough. Oh, I'm not good for him. Oh, I look this way. I'm too fat for him. I'm not light skinned. I'm too dark. My hair is nappy. I don't have a fat ass like she do. So they turn to do sexual things because that's how they feel that they're going to get that attention from the man. We are responsible. We're responsible. You know what I'm saying? So I feel as black people, there should be some type of like community to teach these girls and these boys that there's a lot more.
There's a lot of organizations out there that would allow you to do that, so we can talk offline about it. So
yeah, so I think you should talk to young girls who probably don't have that voice to tell.
They
like,
need the real.
I've done it. I've been there because you do hear a lot of young girls saying, "I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go into that." So they probably thinking it's gonna be glamorous and off the chain and all that. But Chan, I think you had a question. No.
No, I just appreciate you coming on, just like everybody said, and giving us a different perspective, because to us it's just entertainment. So, you know, for you, like you said, it's a whole different avenue. You know, what else I thought was wrestling for adults?
That's what porn is.
What other thing I thought was interesting was talking about just like the racial issues within, like we have that in so many different places. So I just thought, appreciate
I mean, you know
that.
what? I got called so many names because I have an interracial son, and my son is white and black. So when dating a white man, oh, she with a skinhead. No, he's a Marine. He's not a fucking skinhead. This motherfucker is a jarhead. He's in the military. There was even a girl who made a video on YouTube and it was flagged because it was very racial. And I deal with these issues, and I often wonder later in life, I have to deal with these issues with my child also.
Yeah.
Because he's mixed. And I have to tell people, don't call my son white. He's black with light skin. Because then he's going to identify with white people. You know what I mean?
Then somebody gonna tell him like, nah, you black. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody tells him, you black, your mom is black.
Hey,
So yeah.
Let me ask y'all this, cause I know some of y'all probably seen this online. I want to get y'all thoughts on this shit. Have y'all seen the Switch It Up challenge?
That shit is ridiculous. If I see another man dressed up as a female, I'm
They just living out their fantasies.
Something is wrong.
Well, let me ask y'all women this.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No. You can't. First of all, there is a level of tightness of your pants. There should never be the fact that you can wear my pants.
How do you do it? That's right.
Don't wear my pants ever.
How about that dress?
How about the dress? Yeah, don't wear the dress. Don't wear the pants. Don't wear Uggs. Don't wear none of that shit.
How you put a jinx on?
Okay, well let me ask y'all this.
No.
I know. No, I do. I feel like I know it's no, but if your man, like, cause I feel like
over.
It's not even a joke.
Yeah, this to me. I feel like if your man asked you, like, I mean, if you asked your man and he said yes, wouldn't you be like, nigga, I was just playing? Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or like it was a test. Like, hey, would you do this?
If you're going to put on makeup and feminine clothing, I want to know who your boyfriend is.
And heels.
I want to know who your
He says yes, there's an issue.
How long you been dressed?
That should be a test. You like that? We should switch up channel. Let's go.
I'm
Leave your
already
stupid ass.
uncomfortable when
That should be
dudes
it
want
right
to
there.
dress up like Halloween and shit as women. You're like, wait a minute, Tyler Perry, let's come on now. No.
You know what was?
No.
I saw one.
Be a man.
I saw one that was like, I guess it was
It was a lesbian couple. That's
yeah,
not,
but the girl, well,
the stud looked more.
girl too looked very uncomfortable.
She was more uncomfortable in the dress than I seen the dudes.
The dude was all
In
like,
the dresses. The dudes was all about the stud was looking like, the stud looked like, man, my girl making me do this bullshit. The dudes was with it, and I was like,
why are all these challenges happening to emasculate men?
Some men, they like having fun, but there's a certain, there's a
line.
limit.
let me tell you, my girl asked me to do that shit. I'm leaving her.
Yes, you should.
It's over.
You should. Because there's something wrong with it. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so the dudes that actually did it, because it wasn't their idea, but they was probably like, oh,
I don't know. I feel like it was some of their idea.
No.
I feel like they were like, babe, you seen that new challenge?
I do.
Let me wear your dress.
I do.
Let me put on your scarf. I'm like this.
He probably had it on a week before. Like, I look fly as shit. The nigga who started college, I look fly as shit.
My thing is like when
Like,
you
babe,
young,
I've been wanting to wear this dress
Right,
for
for a long time.
when you young and you in a relationship with your girl, sometimes you do silly shit. My thing is,
What's young?
why would you post that shit?
No.
Sam, what's
that.
young?
Done it before.
No.
This all goes to the line
What
of
is
being
young?
a
What age is
product
young?
of your environment.
What age is young?
I don't know.
See,
I don't
that's
like
the thing. We can't even say that anymore.
I don't know.
Because I see grown ass men doing shit like this
I'm
and
40,
posting it, and it is offending me. Like, I really want to just cuss them out online. Like, what the heck? Oh, what the fuck?
Come on back.
No. Fuck
My
that.
thing is, what is the big thing with the challenges anyways?
Attention. Everybody do attention board.
I don't see nobody putting up challenges. They didn't got 2-3 jobs.
The
I don't see
2-3
nobody
job
putting up
challenge.
challenges like I lost weight, do the weight loss
We gonna call that one a
challenge, or-
Jamaican challenge.
You know what I'm saying? There are no educational challenges. Everybody's exposing their body parts.
Yeah,
what's the
they
last
can't cut it
challenge I
out.
seen?
I'm over the challenge.
The booty shaking one?
Oh, the fuck it up challenge?
Fuck it up challenge.
I can get
All
behind
the
that.
fish I smell.
I ain't seen the fucking up challenge.
But
No,
that
I
is why
have.
these little girls think that it's okay to grow up
But then
and
you-
put your
you have-
booty everywhere.
But that's
put
why-
your cleavage on at 14. They got cleavage in their pictures and stuff like that. And I mean, I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I am super on her ass and on her Instagram. Like, wait a minute, hell no. And I mean, I think about it when I was her age at high school. You know, we had the little. You know, the little
So, like you
cut-off
said, they
shorts and
love
stuff
the
like that, but they got their
mannequin
booty cheeks hanging out now, and I'm thinking
I
in my
thought the
head,
mannequin
like,
challenge was dope.
holy
Yeah, I did too. I love the mannequin challenge.
We weren't.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to us
I hated that
coming
so much.
together
That's when they
and
killed
letting
it,
everybody
literally.
know that this
Put
is
it
not.
everyone.
we need to grow back up. We need to grow
STD
back up.
rate is real high. Pregnancy rate is real high. Domestic violence rate is real high, and that's in men and women.
That's because
So next
everybody
week
is
you're gonna have the
messed
"Don't
up.
Hit Your Woman" challenge.
That
Yeah.
ain't gonna happen. You
Well,
gonna see all
football's
kinds
canceled then.
Damn.
Speaking of football, y'all see the young man, Mr. Mixon?
That was a girl on girl fight though.
Yeah, that video.
Did you see the way he walked into there? He walked in. He said,
He sashayed in there now.
"Yeah." I was like,
That hook was a.
I was like, "You." I was
So
like,
now I'm hearing,
That was
like,
a
I guess
nigga.
that video happened 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
but now I'm hearing that NFL GMs are now saying that he's undraftable. And again, I hate to make this some race shit,
It is
It's
racial.
always
but
race.
the amount of white boys in college who have done way worse and who went to the NFL and done it in the NFL and it was covered up by the NFL. And I'm not saying that any domestic violence is right. I'm saying
No.
When you put
I
it
want it
side
side by
the
side, and
punishments are not the same.
I want everybody, because like,
Okay, wait, hold
It's
on.
not the same. Look at that 19-year-old boy that got off today, the one that had abused the disabled boy, the football player.
Oh god.
A football player abused
He
Yeah.
put the
He did.
wire in the boy, kicked the wire in the boy's butt, and he was challenged,
Yeah.
and he got off today.
Got
And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, they're not paying for the shit that they're doing. They're not. As simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's gonna get worse over these next 4 years.
So
now we got Trump dump in
is
there.
it why is it such an issue for black people to not come together? I don't understand.
Because it's not their problem. When it's not your problem, it's easier to avoid it, like not to pay attention. It's not until somebody close to you that gets touched.
But you
that
know
all
what's
of a
crazy
sudden
that
it
she
becomes
said that,
you.
because at the end of the day, it is our
Yep.
problem. It's our parents' problem. It's our ancestors' problem, and it goes back to back
Yep.
to their time. So it's like it's always gonna be an issue. But when are we going to learn that if you keep letting the white man win, fucking we're not gonna have shit that already took our dance moves, our fucking music. You know what I'm saying? They dabbing. Come on, man. White
they
people
murdered
was
the
doing
dab.
that
They ain't taking that
shit.
time.
No, they're not that.
They took the dab to church. That's when you need to let it go.
I know.
First of all, why would you be dabbing in church anyway, pastor? Hello?
Thank
You
you.
pastors, what's wrong with y'all? Why are you
We gotta make it good on the
Yeah,
church
man.
system.
We got sex tapes happening.
That was
Right.
Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we gotta talk about Pastor Stubblefield over in Houston making
Yes,
sex
But
tapes
this
Making
is the
sex
thing.
tapes.
But this is the thing.
with the members.
Now members see this, children see this, they think it's okay to do these things because they see.
Well, yeah, because it's now becoming a cultural norm to do this type of shit, and that's not just with, like you said, like if you watch stuff like the Fuck It Up Challenge, it's not only 18 and over.
You're
women
not about
doing
to
that.
see me doing
You're gonna see a lot of teenagers doing
I
that.
can't even move my booty.
But you know what I'm
like
saying?
that.
So it's literally like it's turning this thing into like a cultural, a regular thing. Is normalizing shit that shouldn't be normalized.
It should not
this
be
early.
normalized.
You know what I mean? And because
I'm gonna blame
it's a
the internet.
hashtag, anybody can see it. You know, because it's a hashtag, anybody can see it. So yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of issues that we have. There's a lot of shit that we need to come together on, that we need to stick together on. I think the shit is crazy. But I think watching the news, I'm looking at an article right now. I'm sure this is gonna take us from now to the end of the show. Christian leaders up in arms over the casting of a black actress, Octavia Spencer, as God in the upcoming film The Shack.
In the book, she's a black woman.
What? Hey,
Tell them
What?
to fuck off.
why does that matter?
Yeah, in the book she
In the book, she's black. So what are they gonna rewrite fucking the whole book?
I mean, Rue was black in the Hunger Games book, but that didn't matter.
Bro, Right.
There's been many. There have been.
The Shack. The Shack is a book that this man wrote about a man's daughter or a man's child. I think it was a daughter dying. She died. She was kidnapped and killed. And in this book, he is fucked up for life. He goes to a shack and he meets God. God is a black woman, and she saves his ass. And so now the book has been around years.
My question
and now you're mad?
My question would be, number one, do people know that? Like, did you read the book, or did you just say?
Of course not.
No, my question is this: why is it that every time an African American person is put into or cast into a movie, there is a problem? Do you see us talking about the white people or the Hispanics or the Asians that y'all put into our movies? We're not complaining. We don't do that. What the fuck is he doing in our movie? He's Asian. He don't belong here. So I'm just saying, like, what? I don't understand what the issue is.
Well, this is my issue, because my issue is not even that people are mad. My issue is that Christian leaders are mad.
Do they not realize that Jesus was black?
Well, even if they don't realize that Jesus is black, if Jesus is omnipresent, or like if Jesus is supposed to be in all of us, do everything, like
it's whatever we see.
It's whatever we see, right?
And then so maybe that's what. Well, the problem is the woman. That's what we're going back to. Now we're portraying God as a woman. There you go. They don't want that.
No way in hell I'm gonna take my blessing from the goddamn woman.
I seen an article
You have God
about
as
a white
woman
man
and
who
black?
died.
A black woman that's too much for them to handle?
You got God as a woman and black?
Absolutely. They can't even handle the fact that it says he has wool hair in the Bible. You think they want to come to terms with it being a black woman that might get her hair pressed in the movie?
But my thing is,
I think white people mad because their ancestors come from us.
I think people are mad, period, because anytime we're portrayed in a positive light, they want to damn it. Why the hell would you make Santa black? Why would you make God
I didn't
a black
understand
woman?
that. Yeah.
Why would you make Egyptians black?
Oh, people.
Let's have a whole movie based in Africa and not have no black people. Let's just cast them all white.
If you haven't noticed, a lot of people really think, and they really have this mindset that Egypt is not Africa.
No.
Egypt is not a part of Africa, and that Egyptian people are not African.
You know what?
I know black people who have said.
Wait a minute, how about this? I met an Egyptian man yesterday who was an Uber driver, and he will tell you himself he African. He told me out of his mouth, I'm African.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen, like, y'all seen the crazy black preacher? What's wrong with you niggas who think that black people can't do shit, right?
Right.
He was talking about how we've never done nothing for the world. Black people can't build shit. And somebody said, black people can't build shit. Don't bring up Egypt, because Egypt ain't part of Africa, and that ain't black
That's
people.
funny, because black people are the one that made America, so what are you saying?
This is what makes me struggle and really, really, really watch that show, Who's Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because I swear, where the f*** is Egypt? Where is it? That's what I wanted to. Every time somebody has an argument, I want you to throw up the fucking map.
Well, the thing
Come
is,
on.
they don't care about the map. Facts gives a fuck about facts. The thing is, the reason they don't want to say that Egypt is Africa, because if you say Egypt is Africa, then you are literally saying that black people are the beginning of mathematics.
We're brilliant.
We're brilliant. So in order to take that away from us, they want to call it the Middle East or some other shit. Like, they don't want to say it's Africa, because to admit that Africa is Egypt, you're admitting that we are the cradle of civilization, that black people are the cradle of civilization. And that's a lot of shit for them to contend with, especially in the world of white supremacy, where it's all based on them being supreme to us. So if you saying you're supreme to us, but we got Egypt, they have to kind of try to find a way to take that away. Like, y'all got Africa with the flies and shit and the little hungry kids, but Egypt, that's not.
What they don't realize is that you have this one little thing, right? But then you appropriate all of our culture. There is not one time in history that our culture was not appropriated. Not one time. Even now, we can't even have cornrows without them saying the Kardashians came up with it.
But
You can't even have the braids
that has been
box braids now. All this shit. It's like, okay, you know what? Go ahead. You want to take Egypt? Here we go. We're going to up the ante and show you all this shit from the before time to now that we did, that your ass just came in and took. Because what did white people exactly do?
That's all. That's the million
Because
dollar
I want to know what white culture is.
Stealing.
Stealing.
Thank you.
They steal land, they steal people,
And
they steal
reinvent.
culture.
Stealing and privilege.
And renaming. They just rename it.
The white culture is
Their nomenclature at its best.
It's Elvis. Whatever Elvis did, that's
That's
what
what
they
I
did.
want to know. So that's why I seriously laugh at those articles because it really bothers the shit out of me that nobody seems to be able to articulate our defense for some reason. No, and people are just like, man, F it, they'll get it one day. They won't. They won't. Even that, it's like, it is a book. It's written, and no one, not even the fucking news person that wrote that article would even think brilliantly to go and say, but the woman is black in the book. Why do you have an issue with it? I bet you it never comes up. They just continue to let the article go.
No, because we're being sensitive.
Yeah, we gotta forgive. We gotta be sensitive. We gotta tiptoe around. We gotta walk on eggshells. I'm not doing that shit. No, hell no.
No, you know, I'm on the same thing you are in regards to that. Cause
That's bullshit.
You know, it's funny because I used to have
Fuck
a lot of people saying like, when we first started this show, actually, and I had a lot of my Caucasian friends, or who we thought were friends, I'll say associates, who would be like, man, you guys are so political, and you know, I don't like to get involved in all the political stuff, and but then you go to their page, and they talking shit about when Kaepernick was kneeling, and they talk. So I'm like, oh, they talking shit about protesters. So I'm like, oh, I was talking about too much black shit for you. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a problem I was talking about political shit because you're talking about political shit on your page. The problem is I was talking about too much black shit. I was talking about white supremacy. I was talking about police brutality and racial injustice. So me talking about those things is too much for you because again, for you to have to admit that these things are going on in the world is for you to have to admit your privilege.
It doesn't.
And you have so many people who feel like they don't want to admit that privilege. And it's interesting. So now I was like, 'cause at first I used to be like, damn, this shit might be a little too harsh for my Facebook. Now I give zero. I'm like, yo, y'all getting all these facts, and you can be mad, you can unfollow me or whatever, but you about to get these facts, this education.
My friend got mad at me the other day, and if she's listening, she'll probably get mad at me today. I said, you know what? Back in the day, they started that whole one drop rule, right? One drop, you black.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's used against you all the time. No, you one drop. Like you said with your son, you got to explain it. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. They got Trump. We going to flip the script. One drop, I'm white. Fuck it. I'm all privilege. I want it. And I'm serious. So you going to come in, you going to rape and pillage? Then nigga, we all white.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm putting it out there. White privilege, that's what I want.
So we want a piece of that.
I want a piece of it.
I'm trans white.
If you've been able to use
white
it,
man.
if you've been able to use it all these years, and be able to damn us with it, why can't we take it back? Because nobody does anything that's serious. So if you go out and you start demanding the same respect and the same things in a real way, in large capacities, things will change. It's just like the Victoria's Secret woman. When she was in there crying and was really hurt and outside crying, and the minute everybody started tagging that, Victoria's Secret came to the rescue like, no, hold on, blah, blah, blah.
It ain't hold on.
Because you can't hide behind it anymore.
Well, you know what it is even more too? We as a people too, we have to change our mindset as well. We got to change our mindset from this meek, docile behavior shit, because I see somebody talking about how like it's interesting. I know we've all been to college parties, right? And we've all been around.
Man, I was.
If you see a crowd of like white boys being boisterous, drinking and loud, that's just they party. If you see black dudes doing the exact same thing, we being ghetto and out of line. And it's not the white people who think we ghetto. It's the black people to me who like, shh, y'all need to quiet down. Y'all, and I'm like, yo, it's literally a bar full of white boys over there headbutting each other and slam dancing and shit. And all we doing is over here drinking and laughing like at each other's jokes. And I think that goes to the bigger attitude of shit we need to change because we always trying to minimalize and hide ourselves as to not rock the boat.
But
And
it
I'm like, that
also
shit's
goes back
over.
to
Because
Black
we've always
women
been
who were-
taught to, yes ma'am,
But
yes ma'am,
it
no
also
sir.
goes back to the black women who were kicked off the train for being loud and laughing, just having a good time.
Yeah.
I don't-
Because
I
what
don't
we
think
do is
that.
looked at as ghetto. What they doing is looked at as partying and having a good time.
It's
You
going
know what I mean?
to
And I'm like, and I was telling
get
somebody, I
worse.
said, you know what's funny? I said, if you really like hang out and you go out in Hollywood, like, white people way more ghetto than us. They way more, like, they get loud when they get drunk. They be wilding the fuck out all the time, but they never fight, they never get called ghetto and shit. And it's funny that that stigma is on us, and I'm like, but you look at them and the shit that they do, and I'm like, it's wild. But that's because that's how perception is. We have been criminalized. You know what I'm saying? So our perception is from a different place.
True story. I was 19 years old, me and my friends, we're a multicultural group. We got Asians, we got whites, we got blacks, Mexicans, and whatnot. But we were the only multicultural group in Irvine. I forgot the little place that they have in Irvine where they got the golf and laser tag and whatnot. The place shut down early, right? So now you have this group of young people standing outside. It's Irvine, so there's multiple white groups of people that are trying to figure out what they're like. The police came and they drove by. I kid you not, they drove by at least 5 to 7 groups of white people to come to us to tell us we have to leave. And they out there, and we're sitting there, I'm thinking like, okay, this is a group for the honor roll students, this person's going to Berkeley, this person's going to Stanford, and I'm sitting here like, so y'all drove past all these white people to tell us multicultural group that we have to leave. And my boy Tony, that day almost got arrested because he said, fuck this. And he squared up with the cop. And it was sad to see like, that's how they think about us. When the fact that we're not even doing anything, we're trying to figure out what our night's gonna look like the rest of everybody else, but because we're not whites, we had to go.
I look at it as though white people look at us as inferior because we have so much power than they have. And so we have things against us to belittle us. So we can't use that power. So that's why you have all this other dumb shit, and so forth and so forth. Stripping is a number one job right now. I've seen a clip. They resumes. So you have to understand that they use these things against us. So we are weakened. We're weakened in spirit, mind, body. You understand what I'm saying? So that way we're ignorant towards each other and still be ignorant towards them, but they're looking at us like, ha 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 ha, took everything from you. Now what the fuck do you have? You're only left with each other. So I'm gonna take that away too.
I feel like it's, like I said, I feel like it's somewhat to a degree a lose-lose because they do it too. And when they do it, it's absolutely,
okay because they're white.
Absolutely acceptable. Whatever fucking up challenge they do, whatever dumbass challenge they do, their people, as well as the world, is conditioned to see it as, oh, they're just having a good time. But when we do this same thing, it is used against us. And so, you know, I mean, some of these challenges are ridiculous, but it's like, why can't I do the challenge and consider myself having fun? Like, why does me shaking my ass has to be used against me, and now all of a sudden I'm less than human? When you guys can shake your ass, you can get naked, you can beat your kids, beat your wives, and do everything else, and still be considered a human that just made a simple mistake. So it's like,
because they
you're
feel like
almost
they didn't
always
have to go through slavery and they didn't have to go through their parents being taken away from them, their black man being taken away, and having sexual activity acts in this camp, and we went through a lot more. So why were we going through a lot more? They don't care. They don't care. So for them, it's like the norm. And then when we do it, that's when it becomes ghetto. And that's when it becomes out of line. Because of the power that we have. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. It's our power. Back then, we had so much power. Come on, how many marches? How many marches? You understand what I'm saying? How many communities did you see back in the day with so many of us together? Now we're divided. We're divided by fucking Jordans. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? We are divided by Jordans. I don't get it. I don't. A shoe that looks the fucking same, it costs ridiculous money. Every shoe you put out, my nigga, is the same design, different fucking color. every year. And you're going to spend how much money on that?
$250.
That's why.
And why? And why?
To look good for a bunch of other dudes. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us on the show today, man. Our guests, Miranda Bowden. Make sure you get the book, Caitlin.
Yes.
We got Crystal Clear, aka Maggie Pie, y'all. Make sure y'all follow up. She's talking about her reality show, some shit soon. So
I really do. So I'm gonna.
Okay, so yeah, so we gonna follow up.
We're gonna talk.
Okay. Sam Hulk Hogan.
Hulkamaniac, brother.
Yeah, the hoster. We got Mr. Hammond, Jackie Chandler, Q the Rebel, and then Mr. Daniel. Back at it again with the ignorance. We got Jamila on the camera and Tanae on the camera. Julius over here with the pictures. And hey, it was popping today, man. Wild Bunch will be at the Green Olive on Friday. We perform there every Friday, 9 o'clock. Get there. I think it's free before 10. Free before 10 o'clock. Green Olive in Carson. Come through, live music. We have a good time, good food, good music. If you want to advertise with the show, hit us up in the DM or in the Facebook, and we'll let you know how we can, get your commercial or get whatever you want done and said out to your audience and out to the people you want to get it to. Very cheap prices because we just a starting station, but we got some people watching now. So, like I said, if you want to advertise with us, please come and let us know. And we want to support black businesses too. And we want to help y'all out. And even the people who advertise, after you advertise, we will have you on the show for an interview to talk about said business. All right, we thank y'all. We will see y'all next week. Are we going to be here next week or are we taking a week off?
I ain't gonna be here next week. So, nothing else matters, so y'all taking a week off.
All right, we'll be here maybe next week. I think I'll be here. Yeah, we'll be here.
I'll come through.
Oh, shit, there we go. All right, so next week.
I just feel like
see
there's a
y'all
lot
next
that
week.
needs to be discussed, and if I can get on, then let me get on.
All right, for sure. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. And I'm glad you were so open, man. This shit was dope. And I hope I see you got over your nerves now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I see you got over your nerves. So, all right, y'all, we going to get out of here, man. We see y'all next week.
Uncouth.